And we're on the line now for the girls 4x800 meters at the Franklin Central Showcase. In this race we have Carmel, Westfield, Warsaw, Columbus North, Lafayette Harrison, Yorktown, Franklin, or Fort Wayne Carroll rather, and Franklin Central. As we make the break here at 100 meters, looks like Franklin Central is going to get the early lead. Excuse me now, wow. Hustling their way through there. This is Lafayette Harrison, I believe, followed by Carroll and Franklin Central and the rest of the pack through 200 meters in a fast 33 seconds. That would be pace for a 2:12.
I think that's Lafayette Chip, isn't it? Oh, this is Harrison.
Coming around now on the home stretch, 300 meters into it, through in 51 seconds. And I believe your leader, having some trouble identifying from here, I believe that's actually Warsaw, but Carmel now taking the lead. The Greyhounds finishing second this year at the State Cross Country Championship for girls.
67 seconds for the first 400 meters.
Through 400 meters here in about 67, 68 seconds, and your leader, Carmel, followed by Carroll, Warsaw, Franklin Central, Westfield, Harrison, Columbus North, and Yorktown. Remember, a lot of these teams might be running girls on the not the 1600, but rather the mile. So I know Columbus North, the girls cross country state champions, and Carmel, the runners-up, are both going to be running short-handed, and I see most of Franklin Central's top runners now on the track cheering on their teammates, saving their energies for the all-star mile later on. Here you can see now on the coming into the home stretch on the fourth turn, Carmel starting to open up a commanding lead as she barrels down the home stretch. 100 meters to go here in the opening leg of the 4x800. It's going to be Carmel, Warsaw, Carroll now charging into second, but Carmel with the big lead here. She's going to hand off in about 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Warsaw hands off 3 seconds back, followed by closely by Carroll and Franklin Central. Got quite a gap. And here's Westfield and Columbus North.
They're now holding a comfortable advantage over Warsaw, who is running second, Carroll running third, the Lady Flashes of Franklin Central running fourth. Then you've got
here's Carmel down the backstretch on the first lap of the second leg, and she's opening up quite a lead here. .200 meters into the second leg of the girls 4x800, and she has a 4 to 5 second lead. Warsaw holding on to second, followed closely by Fort Wayne Carroll and Franklin Central. Those are 3 of our top 5 teams from the State Cross Country Championship.
Extending their advantage ever so slightly as we approach the halfway mark of leg number 2.
But Carmel running without most of their top girls here in the 4x800, still taking over. She comes through 400 meters of her leg in about 68 seconds. Warsaw still holding on to second. This is Brianna Smith of Westfield moving way up, hoping to catch Carroll and Franklin Central. Columbus North with quite a gap.
Both of those teams are closing the gap on Warsaw with 300 meters to go in our second leg.
You can hear Indiana runner's own Brandon Jones announcing the meet play-by-play over the speakers.
The race right now is for second.
And the lead has grown for Carmel.
The race right now is for second right now between Warsaw.
But here we see a big race, and it's a 7-second lead for Carmel. But here comes Brianna Smith of Westfield, hoping to move her Shamrocks into second on the second exchange.
Over those 3 teams. And now Westfield not settling. Westfield's going to charge.
Carmel's second leg barreling down the home stretch. Westfield has moved into second. So Carmel with a sizable advantage, and then Westfield, Carroll, Warsaw, and Franklin Central very close together.
Warsaw fading to 4th, and Franklin Central.
The Greyhounds are going to hand off through 2 legs in 4:48. That's an average of 2:24. A huge second leg by Westfield.
at the halfway mark. What an amazing second leg.
We'll see what Westfield has now as they try to move up. They were well down after the first leg. But here she comes, making a bid for the lead already.
Spread out up front now, as it's Carmel.
Westfield has no girls running in the open mile later on, so they're going to use all of their best runners here on the relay. Carmel's going to use some girls in the All-Star Mile, and already that 7-second gap has all but disappeared, as it's now a two-team race between two familiar rivals, Carmel and Westfield. Carroll's in third, kind of in no man's land there.
Going out a little fast, they're pumped up. The second battle on the track right now for fourth place.
Westfield still attempting to close the gap on Carmel.
Winning those two battles.
The two Hamilton County rivals now through 400 meters of the third leg, being cheered on by the runners, the spectators rather, on the track. The gap is closed to under 2 seconds, but now Carmel's starting to lengthen it back up.
We'll see what these ladies have.
So here's your order.
First two teams really charged.
With about one lap to go on the third leg, it's Carmel, Westfield starting to fade, Fort Wayne Carroll, Warsaw, Franklin Central, Columbus North, Yorktown, and Lafayette Harrison.
200 meters to go in our third leg.
.200 meters to go. Carmel has started to open its lead back up.
Carmel now extending it.
Carroll in third, starting to close the gap on the Shamrocks.
Retaking command late into this third leg. It is Carmel.
Franklin Central hoping to make a bid for fourth,
Carroll
closing in on Warsaw.
that quick pace by the Shamrocks on that last lap.
But Westfield's third leg rather starting to pay for her quick opening lap. Carmel now regrowing its lead back to its original 5 to 7 second gap. On to the last exchange. It's going to be the Greyhounds.
Warsaw, Franklin Central, still running 4-5.
Carmel hands off.
40 meters back to your sixth place team.
Carroll now in second, 5 seconds back.
And Yorktown battling.
Westfield about 6 seconds back. And here you see Warsaw and Franklin Central. Columbus North, the girls' state champions this fall, looking to hand off. You'll see 3 of their girls in the mile later on.
Leg right now, but as you've seen so far, anything can happen in this race. It is still
Carroll starting to make trying to make their bid for the lead, charging down the backstretch. Westfield still not out of it yet. 600 meters to go into the third leg, or the anchor leg rather.
Shaping up to be a very exciting last
It's been an exciting race so far, but it looks like Carmel well in command, as they were earlier in the race, before Westfield's Brianna Smith made up a lot of gap on the second leg.
No real battles on the track right now, but that could change any second here.
Everyone's seemingly in no man's land. Carmel has a 4-second lead. Carroll about 3 to 4 seconds ahead of Westfield. Looks like everyone's kind of set in their positions. Although we all know in the 800 that can change quickly as lactic acid starts to set in, especially in the final 300 meters. We'll see what Carroll has in the last 300 meters, if they can catch Carmel. The two teams finished very close point-wise at the state cross-country championship this year. Carmel finishing second, Carroll was fifth, no more than 5 points back. She's ever so slightly closing this gap, but is she going to have enough time? Warsaw has now passed Westfield into third.
Carmel, Carroll, Warsaw.
100 meters to go. Looks like Carmel's going to have just enough to hold on in what should be a rather impressive time without most of their best runners here tonight in the relay. And this looks like it is going to be your order. Carmel winning the 4x800 here at the Franklin Central Showcase, unofficially 9:42. Carroll finishes second in 9:45. Warsaw, very respectable 9:54, third. Westfield 9:52. Franklin Central is going to come in here just ahead of Columbus North. The Flashes in 10:03, Columbus North in 10:05. As our last two here come into the finish. Harrison followed by Yorktown. Again, Carmel dominating much of the race except for a slight lead change when Westfield took over. But Carmel, your winner in the girls 4x800 meter relay.